Now we have seen that how the metabolism of glucose or glycolytic pathway, it is implicated in cancer. Similarly, the amino acid metabolism is also implicated in cancer, and we have seen it how the glutamine metabolism is usually used by the cancer cells for their own growth. Now let's see how the lipid metabolism is implicated in cancer proliferation. You know, lipids are very important molecules when it comes to the production of energy. They are highly potent as far as the energy is concerned. They are even more potent than the glucose. Their metabolism is reprogrammed in cancer so that it can be used for the proliferation of cancer. We know that hallmarks of cancer like tumor cells proliferation, the evasion of apoptosis, and the adaptation to the environment in which the cells are living. These all are the hallmark of cancer, and these all are achieved somehow, or these all are facilitated because of the reprogramming of the lipid metabolism. So some of the key steps or key important strategies which are involved or implicated during or in the reprogramming of the lipid metabolism, which help in the proliferation of cancer, they are lipid uptake. Of course, there is a surge in the uptake of the lipids, which ultimately leads to more and more utilization of lipid for the proliferation of the cells. One of the because of this more uptake of lipids, you get more and more droplets, lipid droplets, which ultimately can be used for the production of energy, which will be used in turn by the cancer cells. Then there is upregulation of the enzymes which are involved in the production of fatty acids like ATP citrate lyase, acetyl-CoA carboxylase, and fatty acid synthase. Their overproduction will lead to the oversynthesis or more synthesis of the fatty acids. And these fatty acids then can be used not only for the production of energy, but for the building of the cellular material. You know, cell membrane are a major component of your cell membranes are the lipids. Then fatty acid oxidation ultimately leads to the production of the energy. So the oxidation process of the fatty acids is also increased, and as a result there is more and more proliferation of the cancer cells, because cancer cells, when they are proliferating, they need more energy, and that energy is provided by these fatty acids. But it's not only the production of the energy. Sometimes it also happens that you have to divert the pathway which leads to the production of energy towards the pathway which leads to the production of more lipids, because as I have told you that lipids are very important part of the cell membranes, and when cells are proliferating in cancer and they are proliferating very fast, you need more and more material for the cellular bodies, like more and more cell membrane. And cell membrane, very important component of the cell membranes are the lipids. So in this way, that production of lipid is utilized for the making of the cellular structures. Lipids are not only a building blocks of many of the component of the cell, not only they produce energy, they are also very important signaling molecules also. And many signaling pathways depend upon these signaling molecules. The molecules, for instance, the phosphoinositides, sphingolipids, eicosanoids, they are important signaling molecules, and you have already learned about these molecules in detail when we were talking about the lipid metabolism. A very important cell growth pathway is the PI3 or AKT pathway, and you will study in detail about PI3 kinase pathway or the G protein link pathways when you will be studying these topics in detail in the cell biology course. These pathways are very much activated in the cancer because you need more and, these pathway leads to more and more proliferation of the cell. One of the molecule which is implicated in the PI3 kinase pathway is the lipid molecule PIP3, phosphatidyl inositol triphosphate. It's a very important signaling molecule, and it controls many of the pathways which lead to cellular proliferation, and cell proliferation, is the hallmark of cancer. Then there is sphingolipid metabolism. Also, sphingolipids is a very diverse. They are very diverse lipid molecules, and they are crucial, especially for making the structure of the membrane. And when we are talking about the making structure of the membrane, you can understand how important they would be for the cancer progression. Ceramide is central molecule as far as the sphingolipid metabolism is concerned. They are known for induction of apoptosis in addition to doing many other things. Some of the metabolites of the ceramides are sphingosine 1-phosphate and ceramide 1-phosphate. Both of these promote cell growth, and this ability of this molecule of sphingolipids for the promotion of the cell growth is then utilized by the cancer cells. Your cellular environment in the normal condition, it depends upon a balance in the signaling. If there is imbalance in the signaling which are coming from different sites, this imbalance can lead to irregularities in the cell cycle, leading to extra proliferation of the cell, which is cancer actually. And this is what cancer cells do. So, reprogramming of the lipid metabolism leads to the disruption of this balance in signaling, and this disruption also help in the progression of the cancer. Keep in mind that your cells are not living in isolation. They are living in a microenvironment. That microenvironment is made up of cells, the immune cells, extracellular matrix in which the cells are lying. So all these affect the signaling pathways which are controlling the very functioning of the cells. So in this way, the lipids, because they are signaling molecules and they are also structural molecules, they play a very important role in the crosstalk between the cells and the microenvironment in which they are living. One way to understand this is that you can see that in the hypoxic conditions, what happened, hypoxic conditions happen, that your body is under deficit of the ATP. Because why your body is under the deficit? Because your proliferation of the cells in the area where cancer is prevailing, the proliferation of cells is in much excess, and it outpaces the supply of the oxygen, it outpaces the supply of the ATP rather, for which is used by the cells, and that leads to hypoxia. And here in this condition, the lipids play a very important role because they provide they are energy producing molecules, very important energy producing molecules. They provide the energy, and in this way they help the cancer cells to proliferate even in the hypoxic conditions. As with anything, whenever we are talking about the cancer, we have to talk about also the targeting strategies, and lipids also provide these targeting strategies. We can target the lipids production, we can target the enzymes which are involved in the production of lipids or in the oxidation of lipids. The inhibition of this enzyme can inhibit the proliferation of cancer. Similarly, disrupting the PI3 kinase pathway, we have shown that how it is implicated in the cellular proliferation. This can also inhibit the cancer proliferation. Depending on one single strategy, it's always good to have more than one strategy, especially if they are combined strategy. You can combine the chemotherapy in which you are dealing or inhibiting certain enzymes which are producing the lipids. We can combine these inhibitors with the radiation, we can combine them with the immunotherapy, and then we will have better results.